How's it going, guys? Coach Kiddo here from Icons Rugby. How's it going? It's a brand new week here in St. Petersburg. The sun's out. It's like +6 or 7 at the moment. I'm ecstatic because it's coming to summer and the snow is gone. So that's the chop up from there. But guys, it's really kind of been a really good last couple of weeks over here in St. Petersburg. We've gone to Borneo. We've had a couple of competitions there and really had some good training camps. And it got me around. I was able to talk with a lot of the Icons guys and even the Russian boys. And there was big issues around focus and how players can focus in a game, or what happens if you get off to a bad start or something goes wrong. And it really got me thinking that, a lot of players don't deal with this very well, and it's something that's, in every game, like every player makes a mistake. Every player, can have an off day. So what happens if you don't feel like it that day? Like, can you say to your team, no, I can't play? No, you can't. Like, you've got to be on point. So it kind of comes down to, and I was lucky enough to coach a guy who's an extreme talent who probably could have gone on to NRL, but, just probably didn't do enough and had a bad persona around being a clown and being a funny guy, that a lot of people knew he was a freak, but that kind of thing puts off coaches. But what my point is that he had this special skill that was phenomenal, and he referred to it as the white line. Now, this player told me, and I was like, mate, why are you mucking around? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? You could be so good. And he said, bro, don't worry about me, because once I cross the white line, nothing matters. I'll do my job. I'll do everything possible. And watching him play, that's 100%. Now, I don't agree with players mucking around too much and being this, but you've got to know your own character. But it's something in and around the benefit of crossing that white line. So it's a small thing that I've noticed with a lot of guys, and I've also helped with some people. I know Manny talks about this a lot through our Icon systems, about having, the 2 to 3 minutes before you go out, having a little process that no matter what has happened in the warm-up, no matter how good, how bad, whatever's happened prior to the game, no matter what you're dealing with, once you lace up those boots, once you stand in that line to run onto the field, you say 3 to 4 things to yourself every single time that switch you on, no matter what. You could have dropped 30 balls in the warm-up, but it doesn't matter, it's the warm-up. You could have had the greatest warm-up of all time, but it doesn't matter, it's the warm-up. We, especially in Australia, and I've seen it also in New Zealand and also around the world, people focus so hard on the warm-up. And yes, it's important and it's critical and it's absolutely vital, but it's the warm-up. Who cares if you won the warm-up? You know what I mean? Like, you've got to win the game. And from a player's perspective, you need to take that energy, either learn how to use that great warm-up into your game to boost you, or flip that bad warm-up into energy to boost you. And that comes around what we describe as self-talk. I talk a lot about in previous podcasts and stuff around your inner hero and your inner villain. Now, those two people, your inner hero and your inner villain, can massively affect how you're going to perform. You need to fuel the inner hero who kills the inner villain. Okay, so you need to tell yourself how good you're going to be. You need to tell yourself what you're going to do. Now, the best thing about rugby is that it's one thing at a time. So all you need to do is, once you cross that white line and you're in the game, is you have one impact. One impact. Now, if that impact is positive, use that energy to make your next impact positive. It could be a tackle, it could be a run, it could be communication, it could be, supporting someone on the inside. It's the impact you have on the team. Work hard to make that a positive one. Now, if it's a negative one, let's say you miss your first tackle of the game, who cares? You've still got the rest of the game to go with. So make it a positive. Make another impact. Flip that switch. Okay, that one's done, let's go again. All right. Why? If you've got time to kind of recess yourself straight away, man, I didn't get my feet close enough. Sweet. On the next contact zone, you just get your feet closer and then you'll be sweet. So you can actually work through a game of being so focused on the individual impacts you have in a team environment to actually change your flow. Now, this is super crucial. You look at it, you look at the NBA, and this is all about the NBA. You know, you look at guys who put up shots and can miss 4 or 5 shots in a row and then sink 30. Because there's a reason they're in the team. They know that they're good enough. Just sometimes it doesn't go to plan, but you can't shatter yourself with it. You have to have confidence that there's a reason that you're there and that's why you're going to be killing it. So players' focus and staying in the zone in the game, for me, you know, really comes down to how they influence and how they impact. Now, there's some positions that are in the thick of it. You know, you look at fronties or guys who play in the middle, they're always in the thick of the action versus a winger. Now, how can a winger stay in the game where he might have a physical impact every 7 to 8 minutes? Well, it comes from comms. You know, it comes from comms. If you talk, you'll stay focused. If you are quiet and switch off and don't communicate, then when that ball comes your way, you're not ready. You're not ready. So, guys, this thing it's a huge area, but it's so simple. So simple to fix. It comes down to the fact that you have a switch before the game, that when you cross that white line, that switch is on, and you know how to switch that on. And then the secondary thing is that you have an impact by impact evaluation, and you either use in some way. You use the positives to grow on and go, fuck yeah, let's do that again. Or you use the negatives to go, fuck, we're not doing that again, let's go this way. Do you understand, guys? Like, it's so simple. But the problem is that you don't actually realize this from a player's point of view until probably to the end of your career or the back end of your career, and no one talks about it because everyone says, switch on, guys. Now, switch on is the actual term, but what does that mean? How do you do that? You know, you hear coaches all the time, switch on, focus, da-da-da. And it's like, well, you know, how do they do that? How are they going to switch on? How are they actually going to flip what they're doing? Because in their head, if you tell a player, and I know I'm crucial of this too, you tell players to switch on, they go, I thought we were. You know, because they don't know. They're in their own game. There's 13, 14, maybe even 25 guys affecting, you know, one result. So it's something that from a player's perspective, you need to be able to go and say to yourself, all right, guys, I've had a little bit of a bad warm-up. I've dropped a couple of balls, but that's good. The best thing about that is that I only have 3 a day and they're gone now. So I'm sweet. You know, or you've had the greatest warm-up and you can go, man, I need to take this into the game. Let's do that. Relax yourself, calm yourself, feed off the emotion. Use the negative stuff to fuel the fire. Use the positive stuff to build on top of the fire. That's all you got to do. And then when you're in the game, you got to have positive involvement. And if you're not physically engaged the whole time, use the emotional connection. Use the communicational connection to keep you in the game. All right, so guys, that's just a couple of things from me on player focus inside the game. It's all about crossing the white line. It's all about setting the tone day in, day out. Okay, it means for training as well. Be focused when you're training. You might drop a ball, but you got to flip it and go again. All right, you might have off days, but once you're in the white grid, you can't. You just can't. You got to be on point. You have to be on point. All right, and people who have a bad day in the office, as in a bad day on the field, don't know how to switch off and don't know how to flip it, and you've got to work on this. All right, so guys, I reach out to any players. I've had probably 3 or 4 in the last week, especially over in Borneo, talk about this. So if there's any of you other guys out there who want to discuss, I've had this happen, what should I do, and want some tips and hints, then just reach out to me, let me know. If you're around, the north side of Brisbane, reach out to Manny. He's a king at this. All right, guys. So, that's it from me. It's Coach Curto. I'm out. Peace.